Hello, my lovelies. Nah, I'm just kidding. Amiga, welcome. Dave. Dave till he falls asleep. And Sarah was here a little while ago. I'm sure she'll be back. And Brain Bug.
Dave. Oh, sorry.
Dave till he falls asleep.
Oh, damn it.
Uh-oh.
Okay, we're good.
You got to pause it right away. No, it's hard to do that, though.
I didn't realize I'd left the sound on the tower.
It happens. So really, I'm just doing this because, well, I'm bored. We don't have anything else to do.
All?
There's not much going on right now, so there's a discussion about Harry Potter, but nah, I'm good. So I thought we'd do this. And I really screwed up with Julian Junkyard because I thought they were Eastern time, so they might be here in about an hour. So Nels, you must entertain us.
Do a striptease.
Yeah, I screwed that all up. Nels popped into the basement and said, well, yeah, they're Central Time, right? And I was like, like literally my reaction. Message them. Hop in when you can. I'm sorry. I suck.
Four people. Dave and Amiga Nuts. Oh, and Seraphim, hi. And Brainbug, hi, everybody.
Yeah. Some of my favorite people.
Cozy little
About
crowd.
half, actually. I don't have a lot. So, we were just talking about, you said they arrested the other three, they arrested all four of them now?
Yay.
They're all, yeah? Did you hear anything else about it? What the charges are on the other officers?
I'm not sure, but Chauvin's got bumped up to second-degree murder instead of third-degree murder. And I think
okay, good.
I'm not sure what the charges on the other three are. There's something with complicity.
Well, that's exactly what it was. Well, plus they were helping him.
Yeah.
So,
and one of the others, I think he had 6 complaints against him for excessive force, so he has a history in his background.
Oh, I'm so shocked.
Yeah, right?
I'm so shocked right now.
Trying to see what says up here. Seen pressing the knees, arrested and charged with murder. And in other news,
I was out running around.
Mayor Frank Rizzo, the statue of Mayor Rizzo has been removed after being vandalized. He was probably the most racist mayor that Philadelphia ever had.
Aiding and abetting, Miga says. That's why they arrested the other 3. Is that what you're saying?
That would be, yeah. I guess it's the formal term for complicity.
I mean, Amiga, if you read about it, I can send you the link and you can jump in. Yeah, I haven't had a chance to read an article about it yet. I got up so early for Dave's stream, I came home and took a nap.
I'm trying to get away from the news. It's really wearing me out.
Oh, I know. It's so much, man. So much, especially with all the shit you've had in your past.
Yeah, I don't like seeing scenes of violence. It really affects me watching violence.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I bet it does. I can't even imagine, honestly. Did you see about that one black guy that was just walking and the police shot and killed him? And he has a little restaurant and he feeds half the neighborhood for free. Hundreds and hundreds of people.
Was this in Louisville? Was this in Kentucky?
And he also, I don't know. I totally.
Is this the one who gave free food to the cops?
And the cops, yes. And he tried to identify himself, and they shot him. I don't know if it was a rubber bullet or a real bullet or what exactly happened, but they killed him. So that's pretty fucked up.
Have you ever seen a rubber bullet?
No, I have never. Not in person.
Used to be it was an Irish pub that I used to frequent. I used to play there. And this was back in the 80s when there was all that IRA stuff and the police were shooting rubber bullets, and I'm sure
Right.
Math Pig could tell you all about that. But somebody, the owner, brought one of these things back with him, and it felt like a roll of quarters. So everybody was passing it around the bar and looking at it. Like, so this is what they're shooting at each other. I'd hate to get hit with one. Like I said, it was like a roll of quarters,
Because
like
they're,
weighty
yeah,
and
I was going
heavy.
to say, they're like heavy, thick, solid rubber, right?
Yeah.
There's pictures on I mean, you don't want to see them, Nels, don't look, but there's pictures on the internet of people that have been hit with them.
Oh, I've seen the pictures.
They spray, yeah, they sprayed a crowd, and one person got hit like 10 times, and it was all from the top of the thigh to the neck. So they weren't aiming at legs, they were aiming at torsos. And yeah, just shooting in a crowd with children and shit. They shot a reporter in the neck and put a hole in his neck.
That's just
Oh
plain
yeah,
rude.
a black reporter, by the way, who also identified himself as being a reporter, and they shot him right after he identified himself. So.
To be honest, I've seen a few of these where they have identified themselves as press, and I think they just have it out for the press.
Yeah, the press is a funny thing because there are some truths in what they say, but they exaggerate shit to get more money. That's really what it is. More viewers, the more money. So, holy crap, Amiga, really? He said some of the rubber bullets have metal cores.
I think that was the case in the one that I handled. Because you could see it had a rubber coating, but from the weight of it, it had to have something like lead in the middle.
Oh,
Yeah.
Are we talking about rubber bullets?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hi,
we
Joey.
were just talking about
Hey.
the cops spraying the crowds and what it's done to people. And I was telling them about that one reporter that was a black guy, identified himself as a reporter, and then they shot him in the neck and took a big chunk of skin out of his neck.
Oh, jeez. I'm sorry. I thought, hey, Shadow Kitty, hey, Beth. I thought you were talking about another reporter who got shot in the face with a rubber bullet and lost an eye. Do you hear about that one?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Blind in one eye now forever.
Shit. See, the thing about rubber bullets is you're supposed to aim for people's legs.
Well,
it's
right,
supposed to slow them down, not damage them permanently.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, this isn't my area of expertise, but Dunk Shop was telling me last night that what they'd read about the use of those in crowd control is you're supposed to shoot at the ground and have it bounce back toward the crowd because that takes some of the velocity out of it, right? But because if you hit someone,
you can get close to the crowd. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because I mean, they can still be lethal. Any projectile coming at your face can be lethal. It's just
I mean, they're lucky it didn't go like in his eye into his brain.
Right?
That's an open socket. It's a lead in, man.
I know it's so disturbing. Everything is disturbing. Actually, we just ran in from the grocery store, put groceries away, and found out that our city is still under curfew. Like Tuesday, they said that in our local newspaper said that the curfew had been lifted. But now apparently it's back or something. I haven't had a chance to look, but according to our grocery store, it's lucky that we went when we did because they were closing at 7 to give their employees time to get home by
before the 8 o'clock curfew. Well, it's with all these protests and rioting. They're rioting in Albuquerque. I'm like 50 miles from Albuquerque. Takes almost an hour about 55 minutes to an hour to get there, depending. And they're smashing the storefront windows, just going down this Central Avenue, which is like their main street, and just smashing whatever, breaking in, whatever they want to do. Fires in the middle of the street. They're adding furniture to it that they're pulling out of the buildings. Yeah.
And it's like, I don't want to advocate for that, but I get it. I mean, I get it as much, I think, as a white person can. But
yeah, I mean, I absolutely, if it was me, I would, And plus, I'm not in the area where they're doing anything like that anyways. I wouldn't mind standing out there all day and with them. I would fucking do it if they were, but they're not. So, and where they are close to me, they're freaking rioting. I don't want any part of that.
No,
like there's videos that people are driving down the road and they get to a stoplight and somebody smashes their window in. Like, what the? Like,
well, here's an opposite
randomly.
Thing. Yeah, an opposite or a similar thing. I was in the grocery store and I turned very abruptly because I realized, oh, I need something down that aisle. And I turned around and I'm wearing a mask and gloves and I turned and almost run smack face into this gentleman who's standing in front of, who was coming from the other direction, and he's wearing headphones, and he happened to be black, right? And I got big eyes, and he automatically put his hands up and started walking backwards. And I was like, sir, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. And I'm trying to say that through a mask, and he's wearing headphones. So I don't think he heard me. It was horrible. But he looked genuinely terrified. And I was like, everybody's so tense. Oh, my gosh.
Like, yeah. And that's the problem, is it is making everybody tense. And what I was going to say was I see nothing wrong with protesting. And honestly, I don't see anything wrong with burning down like the police buildings and the government buildings in your town. Do it. Show them you mean it. I don't care. But burning down shit that affects your daily life is not. What would you say?
I said, just a disclaimer: this channel does not openly advocate violence.
Yes, don't take legal advice from a YouTube channel. To say that.
Yeah, never take. Yeah, no, don't.
Just cover your butt.
This is just my opinion. Please don't think that I'm advocating for anything. If you feel that strongly about it, and you feel like that's what you want to do, don't ruin your own shit. Don't ruin your own neighborhood. Don't ruin your own grocery store. Don't ruin your own drugstore. You're just screwing yourself over. Ruin the government buildings where it matters. That's really what's important. You're hurting mom and pop businesses that are struggling as it is because of COVID.
What was really cool?
That's my only thing.
What was really cool in Memphis was Sunday night, and sadly I was not there because I was really depressed last week, and I am so late to the party on this stuff. I was not plugged into the news, and I didn't know what was going on. So this is my bad for not being there. But Sunday night, Memphis had 6 consecutive nights of protests. And Saturday was when 2 police cars, they said people were like, protesters were like jumping on them or shoving them or something, the police cars. And then police said that 3 shots were fired toward police from the crowd. But the crowd, like eyewitnesses there, said no gunshots were fired. So that's very suspicious to me. But what was my point? But Sunday night, the protesters started at this famous black church downtown, and I'm so sorry I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head because I don't go to church. But it's where a lot of it's where the March for Our Lives. It's where we started the last time we marched was March for Our Lives, and they marched all the way to 201 Poplar, which if you live in Memphis, that's the jail and that's the courthouse in Memphis.
Okay, and so the central downtown.
Yeah, and it was that's like what, Darlin, is that like what, 2 miles maybe? How long? That's kind of far.
If that, it wouldn't be any more than 2 miles.
Okay, yeah.
Because even as slow as we were going, it didn't take us very long.
Yeah, which is really far in a big city, but in an empty, open country area, 2 miles is nothing.
Oh yeah,
there's nothing to stop you.
You go that far
2
for your
miles
mailbox.
In the city, it could take you 15 minutes, 20 minutes, right?
yeah. But what was cool about it is apparently Sunday night it was just completely peaceful without incident. They marched from the church to the jail and stopped there and sang and stuff. And at one point there was a police barricade in between those 2 locations. And the leaders of the march just asked the police, may we please continue our march? We're going to stop at 201. And they said, sure. And they let them go by. So that was good. That was good. But I don't know why. I don't know what's happened in the meantime that suddenly the curfew's been, either I read a bad report about it being lifted for Tuesday, or I don't know. I haven't had a chance to check my source because just got home. Sorry.
Yeah, right. Yeah, well, I mean, you'll find out in a little bit.
Yeah, some
Hi, Junk Shop.
Hi.
How you doing, sweetheart?
Oh, I am hanging in there. How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
I just figured we'd all catch up on, because usually whenever we're doing streams, we have topics, and so I thought we'd just get together and shoot the breeze and catch up on everything from all these different point of views. Because really, like, we're pretty spread out. So
yeah. We actually represent some interesting places, disparate regions. So that's neat.
Right, in different cultures. Which, there's such a predominant Spanish culture here. Because, I mean, I've been to Albuquerque twice. I've never, like, been there. You know what I mean? Like, I drove in for a test, and I fingerprinting for the TSA, and then I drove in another time for, what did I go down there for? Anyways, I had to go to the Apple store. There's not one here.
No,
because it's
that's
too
fair.
small. But besides that, I haven't really, like, been in downtown, so I don't know what the population is there, as far as ethnically goes. I have no idea. Up here, it's predominantly, it's like pretty much split down the middle of whites and Hispanics here. And I've been in my job for 6.5 months, and I've probably seen like 8 black people.
Oh, wow.
And 2 of them are these really good looking, tall, strapping gay men. And they are awesome. I love them. They're just the sweetest people in the world. They're great.
Great.
So.
See, that would freak Junk Shop and I out, because our town is majority black. Our city is majority black. I should make a very fine distinction there. Memphis is majority black. The second you get into the suburbs, it's Whitey McWhiteville. But in Memphis itself,
of course, that's where they like to keep them.
Yeah. Apparently,
it's true. Don't help them improve their lives. Don't help them buy a house. Don't help them, just let them wallow in the fucking ghetto and feel hopeless, like they have nothing else to do but sell drugs to survive. That's
right.
Let's do that to them.
Yeah,
pisses me off.
Me too. The disparity in the quality.
Everywhere I've lived. What's that?
Oh, I was just gonna say the disparity in the quality of the schools between the county schools and the city schools is insane. It's absolutely insane. It's horrible.
And what do? They put law enforcement in place and security guards, but they don't do anything to fix the problem. It's just bandages. I mean, I swear to God, the government owns like huge, like 90% of stock in Band-Aid. They just put Band-Aids on everything.
Nice.
Ridiculous. They don't even buy the good ones with the new ones with the honey in it. It's the cheap, really, really cheap ones that, don't even stick good, and they're plastic. They're even bad Band-Aids. I know. Probably the store brand. Walmart. I don't know.
Dollar store. Dollar Tree Band-Aids.
Dollar Tree version.
Oh, now you dove low. 2 for $1.
Hey, Mr. Shadow Kitty, what's up with you?
Oh, I was just thinking about, you want those Band-Aids that make you wince when you tear it off?
Yeah. I mean, those
are off some leg hair with it.
Hair,
you can use them instead of waxing strips. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember when we were kids. I don't know who. Well, you guys are a little younger than me, but anyways, maybe Nels remembers. And the Band-Aids. You're not that old. I don't even want to hear it.
I'm not old. I'm just 42. It's fine.
Okay, so you might remember. But back we were growing up, like, you got to cut, and Mom, like, clean it up, and she put the freaking iodine on it, the mercurochrome, that felt so good.
Mercurochrome.
Yeah, they put that Band-Aid on it, and it totally sealed, and half the time it was worse for your wound than if you just would have left the Band-Aid off.
Yeah, it would take it forever to scab over it.
It would like seal it, and it would fester in there. There was like no breathing. And then you're like, oh, I got to take this off, take a bath, and you rip it, and you just have like a strip of no arm hair for like 2 months.
Yep.
Oh. But those fuckers never came off. I mean, they just didn't. You could run around, have one on your foot, and run around the swamp all day and come back, it would still be stuck to your toe. I swear to God.
Yeah, those were great.
And anybody that's ever had jungle rot, I'm just saying.
I had a weird barista version of that when I worked at a certain coffee shop for way too long. They had we got what on our hands what we would call bar rot, and it was from working the espresso bar for like 8 hours a time, several times a week.
And your hands are always wet.
Always wet. There's just no way. They're either wet because you just washed them, or they're wet from milk and other stuff and steam and stuff from the bars. There was just no way to avoid it.
Well, that's okay. I have a similar story. I worked at Long John Silver's when I was 20, and I was a fry cook.
Oh no! I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So basically, my jobs were to fry everything, and I would have to make the batters and make the hush puppy mix. Which, by the way, you pick it up, it says secret recipe. There's nothing on that bag. It just says hush puppy mix. So, you can't cheat, man. You can't even cheat because they're so good. That's the best thing about Long John Silver's. We all know it. It's hush puppies.
Mm-hmm.
So we'd have the hush puppies, and you scoop them with a certain size ice cream scoop, and you drop the fish in, the shrimp, and you had to do that, And so you have those Kevlar sleeves on your arms. But the Kevlar sleeves were torn up from people cleaning out because once a week you had to clean the fryer out.
Yeah. Ugh.
And so you have to dump all the oil and get in there and scrub it while it's hot, and that thing hits the sides and it burns it, and there's holes. So to this day, I have little tiny dots all over my arms of different sizes from grease burns. And my hands were just hot all the time. They were just hot during my entire shift because it was just right over top. I don't even know what the degrees were on that. I can't tell you. I remember. Fucking hot.
Fucking hot. Yeah, that's what. Yeah, that's the. I think that's the metric.
Yeah, and everything from your ass up was just sweating.
At all times. Yeah,
horrible.
I did a pizzeria in college and part of grad school, and worked there, and it was a great place where it was a family owned pizzeria, so that was fun.
I did that one.
They didn't pay you much, but you didn't go hungry. There was always extra food at the end of the night.
Lots of spaghetti,
lots of pizza, lots of stuff that is great if you're a broke ass college student, but will also make you very fat. Yes. But there was a smell. There was a smell from where I know, right? There was a smell that would get into your uniform and into your hair, and it didn't matter how many times you washed your uniform. It didn't matter how many times. I could get it out of my hair in a long shower of really washing my hair twice, but I couldn't get it out of the clothes ever. So the clothes just always smelled like that. It was just this horrible kind of rank vegetable wet dough smell. I don't know. It's gross.
Right. My
this is riveting
content. The oily cooked batter. That's what my clothes always smelled like.
Yum.
Yeah, I had friends my daughter. She worked at McDonald's. She always smelled like a French fry. She'd come home and I'd be like, "Did you bring any food?" No. Well, now I'm hungry because I smell French fries. You're not going to bring food home with you. What is wrong with you?
Probably because she was sick to death of it by the time she got home.
Oh, she was.
Would be my guess.
Then she quit there and got a better job and was like, "Mom, don't ever eat the breakfast burritos." And I'm like, "That's one of my favorite things. I throw lots of the hottest picante they have on it."
Mm-hmm.
And she said that all the mix comes in a bag and it's frozen, and they just heat it up and put a little bit of the mix in there. Which is why you need the picante sauce, because it has no flavor.
Okay, that explains that.
Yeah. It does. She said it's the grossest thing in all of McDonald's.
Yeah,
it's worse than the McRib. Yep.
Oh, those are gross.
True.
Sorry if there's any listeners or viewers who are like, I wait every year for the McRib to come back. Fine, more power to you. I can't stand them.
Dave, I love you. Dave, the McRib is gross. It's just, it's like smashed up leftover pork feet. And they press it, and then they throw cheap barbecue sauce on it. Anyways.
All right.
So hi, Maynard. Let's all say hi to Maynard real quick. And then Junk Shop, I just want to say I'm very happy you told me to fuck off. Makes me feel like I'm loved. I was just trying to get a good smiting count for you. It was just a suggestion.
I was like, I will not go back. I will go to Google. And I would rather go to Google and spend like 4 hours doing exhaustive biblical research for the words smite and smote and to get you that count. I will do that if you want. But there's no way I'm reading those. Oh my God!
We're
just in Second Kings,
and I Googled it and looked through several different links that Google provided, and the common denominator was 240.
Okay,
which is why I said that in the chat. That's literally what I got off of Google.
240.
Nice. So, because you guys were talking about it, and I said, "Well, fuck, I'll just go." Google has it. Google has everything. So I just Googled it.
One of the coolest inventions of my life.
And some of them were like breaking down how many smites per section. And I was like, oh, God, that's too much. Too much.
Wow, that's too much.
Leviticus
Somebody had too much time on their hands.
Review the entire chat. There was a couple of years ago. A few years ago, I had to learn the Angry Birds theme when it was popular. I had to learn it for a lot of my students.
Oh, no.
And in my Google search, there was one thing was 10 hours of the Angry Birds theme. I'm like, why 10 hours? And for all the tags, it was like every red flag word that I can't mention right now. And I was like, why is somebody in the chat, the comment section is like, why does somebody have all those icky words there? It says, because it's reported and then Google has to review every second of it. So somebody had to sit there through all 10 hours of the Angry Birds.
Oh, that's
wow.
There's a good 2 days work for you.
That's cruel.
Somebody went home at the end of that and just cried. And just cried and cried.
Can't get it out of your head.
And cried, drank, and ate fried food. That's what. Or ice cream. I hope that's how they cope with that.
Right. Frozen burritos and ice cream.
Right. I need Frito pie and chocolate ice cream and anything but cat videos. I want to watch like cinema right now.
Yeah.
No. Oh, gosh,
I'm gonna go watch Ironweed to feel better.
I don't even know what that is. Junk shop.
No.
What is Ironweed?
It is. Well, let me put it to you this way. It's about a handful of homeless people at the height of the Great Depression.
So it's sad. It's sad.
And depressing.
It's got Jack Nicholson, Meryl Streep, and a handful of other people.
Just stop there. I'll go watch it. You had me at.
It's
Jack
like
Nicholson
2.5 hours of the most abject misery ever committed to celluloid.
Oh God!
It's just you're ready to die by the end of this film. It's so well done, though.
Maybe next week I'll watch that.
I think of Google. I think of Google reviewers whenever I remember that scene in The Good Place, where there's the guy who has to review every weird sex thing that humans have come up with. And he keeps putting in requests to commit suicide. And the other guy's like, no,
and they
can't.
Request denied.
Yeah, request denied.
Denied.
Sorry.
I know how that guy feels. That happened to me earlier. I was trying to get Junk Shop to commit suicide, and request was denied.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, request denied always.
Request denied.
We have a strict no suicide policy in our home. We try to avoid it.
Strict what?
We have a strict no suicide policy in the Junk Shop Julie home. We try to try to avoid it. Not judging, just saying, trying not to, trying to keep mentally healthy enough to not go there.
Yeah.
Can't say I haven't ever been close. I have, and then I took my ass to therapy.
Right. No, been there. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. When all this shit calms down a little bit, you guys should just drive out here and visit me.
Oh, that'd be so cool. That'd be so cool. I'll be back at work.
I can show you around.
That would be cool.
It's a beautiful area.
Oh, what? Oh no, don't look sad. I didn't mean it will never happen. I just meant next month my furlough ends and I get to go. I'm luckier than most. I actually have a return date for work and they haven't taken that back yet. So
right.
I'm okay for right now. Yeah. And we're also being careful. So if something does go badly, we've got some money saved up. So yeah.
Well, according to what they're saying and what doctors are saying, I guess I'll see in about 2 years.
And apparently, and frankly, I can't blame. It was so much easier. Wasn't it so much easier like 2 weeks ago to be all self-righteous about this? And now it's like, no, there are some really righteous protests going on, and I want to support that. But at the same time, we're going to see a spike because it's a lot of people ending up all smushed together. And they're trying to do it right. They're wearing. So you see a lot of these things, and they're wearing masks, and they're But I mean, that when you're this close to somebody else, it really doesn't matter.
The CDC's leaning towards it being airborne spread and not off of surfaces, so that's good.
Oh, okay.
So, that was as of like 4 days ago. They said something about that. A report came out about that. So now they're still playing with that some, but I know that's what I was going to say to Nels. I'd invite Nels out, but he's so damn far away, and Mama's the same. You guys are about the same distance from me. That's a forever drive.
I'm nearly in the ocean.
2 days to get here.
Aww.
I know. It's a fact.
Yeah, I could go down to Atlanta way easily. That's not too far. I think that's like a 4-hour drive from here, maybe 6, but probably 4.
Maybe 6. Yeah.
Depends on if you drive like me or you drive like your brother.
Yeah, I don't drive like my brother. That's for sure. My brother, oh my God. My brother was awesome, but he learned to, got married really young because, Kentucky, we do that. And and to support his newly pregnant wife, he joined the Army at 19, and they ended up stationed in Germany. And he's a Desert Storm vet and stuff, but they ended up stationed in Germany, and he basically did his formative learning to drive outside of our hometown years on the Autobahn, and he drives a freaking madman. Like, it's terrifying. I mean, he's fine. He's in control of the vehicle the whole time.
He's used to it.
Yeah, because he's used to it. But I'm just like, dude, it's nope,
I won't. I will never get in a car with him. First of all, I have to be the driver, and second of all, because I have a CDL, I will not go more than like 5 to 7 over the speed limit.
Yeah, I don't.
I'm not doing it. No, because if I get a ticket in a civilian vehicle, it still counts against my DAC report from my CDL.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know what a CDL. Oh, you used to drive truck. I forgot. Okay, I don't really know what a CDL is, but that means that's some kind of professional license.
Commercial driver's license.
Commercial, that's what that's it. Yes. Okay, got it. Gotcha. All right.
So they're like A, B, and C, and then you have like passenger, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And so I have an A, so I can literally drive anything except for a passenger vehicle.
Cool. Yeah, and you don't want to risk that. I understand.
Doubles, triples, tanker. I have all that on my license, yeah. So no, I'm not messing with that. It's... that's my backup.
Yeah, that's your. That was your livelihood for quite a while, wasn't it?
8.5 years. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. You did your time.
Yeah, and 8.5 years over the road, and then I drove locally for another 3 years, 3.5, something like that. I just did yard spotting because it's easy and it pays good. Just moving trailers around a yard all day.
Yeah, see, I nodded like I knew what that meant, and I did not. I got
they have like the little mini tractor trailers, and they're really short, and they're just one seat, and so you can hook up you just step out on the catwalk, and there's a door on the back, and you just hook up the trailer. You go back. It's easier to back in because the turn radius is like you can turn on half of a dime. Like, it's tight. You can crank that steering wheel around and just turn. I used to do donuts in the yard when I was bored in between the trailers. Yeah. Anyways, hey, those little things could get it, man. And they had them torqued down to 35 miles an hour, which sucked because we had to drive down the road for 2 weeks and get gas or get fuel. And so we'd have to turn on the blinkers, and you start going faster because you used to driving like 5 or 10. So you're like, ooh, I'm going 35. Oh, that's it.
Nope, that's all we got.
And you're going down the road with your blinkers on at 55 zone, and cars are like, whoof, whoof, and you're just like, hi. See you later. Oh, shit. But that was a pretty good job, though. It was like faster pace. We got breaks everywhere randomly and 15, 20 minutes at a time, pretty much on every hour. And cool. When we were busy, we were like hauling ass, dodging people, walking, dodging other trucks, just slapping trailers in and out of the doors. So it was pretty cool. But I think the best I ever did was in 7 hours and 45 minutes, because they have a engine hours on the truck, and when you start your shift, you have to write them down, and at the end of your shift, you write them down. So that way they can keep track of when maintenance needs to be done and all that kind of stuff. It's DOT regulation. So I drove the truck out of a 12-hour shift. I drove it for 7 hours and 45 minutes, and I moved 103 trailers.
Nice.
And that's the best I've ever done. Yeah.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
I was backing them up at like 20 miles an hour. They came out and told me to slow down. I was going too fast.
Oh. You're making the rest of us look bad.
Yeah.
No, I was a courier for a little while,
but you know.
Well, yeah, there's that. I was a courier for a little while, but I had one day where I got almost run off the expressway by 2 different trucks, and then saw a car on fire. And this was after like months and months of building up, and it turned into almost a phobia. I can't. That day was the day I handed in my notice, was the almost run off the road twice, and then the car on fire. I couldn't. I was just so done. And I can drive on the expressway, and I can drive on. I'm better on interstate highways because it's not, you don't have the congestion of like city traffic coming in and out and all that. But right. But doing that all around a major city for 8 hours a day, it created a bit of a phobia. To the point where the reason my commute to my office is so freaking long is because I refuse to take the expressway in the morning because I'm not dealing with that.
Right.
It's like it's worth it to me to drive twice as long every day than I would have to just to not have the stress.
My wife is like that.
No, I don't blame you.
Yeah.
But then again, my wife had two really critical accidents. She was T-boned one time, and the hospital called me and told me to come and pick her up, and they were picking pieces of glass because her head hit the rearview mirror, which I got to see when we were taking all the personal belongings out. I saw the rearview mirror on the floor. I was like, is that your head imprint? Because it was just like skull-shaped dent in the rear view. So she does anything she can to avoid main roads and intersections and stuff.
I respect that entirely.
My sister took a rear mirror off with her eye right here.
Oh.
Or no, forehead, right in the middle of her forehead, rather. And to this day, like when she has her makeup on, you can't see it because she covers it really well. She's been covering it for years. It happened when she was 18, and she's 9 years older than me, so 40 years ago.
So she still has a scar.
Yeah, she has like this scar. It almost looks like a seagull, like this, except one end's longer. And she was doing her makeup while driving down a 50-mile-per-hour road, and a dog that these people owned, they lived on this like little weird corner, and there was a tree right there, big oak tree, like 4 foot across or something. It was huge, maple something. And so she was doing her makeup, saw a flash of a dog, yanked and the dog would come out in the road and bark, and then when you got close, it would just move. It always did that. She didn't realize where she was in the road because she wasn't paying attention. She was trying to get to, I think she was going to college or work or something that day.
Yeah.
And she had mom's extra car that she inherited. And she destroyed the car, totaled it, wrapped it around the tree, crawled across the road to the people's house, blood streaming down her face. She couldn't see, blood in her eyes, and knocked on the door and said, "Can you call 911, please?" Like crawling. She couldn't see.
This was before cell phones. Yes.
Oh, yeah. No. Yeah. You had to find someone with a landline. And luckily, she was in front of those people's house, you know? And my mom was like, yeah, you guys might want to do something about your dog. I think it's time.
Yes. So. My dad tried to swerve to miss a dog once, and because he freaking loves animals. And he almost ran into a group of kids. There were like 5 kids walking on the side. There wasn't really a sidewalk, so they were like on the side of the road, but they weren't in the road. But he almost hit.
Like
there
on
were
the
like
shoulder.
5 of them.
Right.
Shoulder.
Yeah, they were on the shoulder, and he almost. This is back in Kentucky. He almost hit like 5 kids, and managed to straighten back out just in time. And he came home and he was shaking, and he was like, I will never swerve for an animal again. I'm sorry. I won't do it, because he was just the thought of that he could have, killed children.
Of hurting one child. Yeah.
He was like, nope, I'm specious, apparently.
Yeah.
Like, children more important than dog. Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry,
Love
Fido.
dog.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like you got to make a split second decision. It's like when I was driving around Louisville on the loop.
I've done that.
And okay, so there's a part of the loop, and if you've driven on it many times, you'll know there's a part of the loop where it comes around a corner, it straightens out a little bit, and goes around another corner under an overpass, and the road kind of dips down and goes to the right.
Yes.
And it's a real tight corner. Well, I'm driving down through there. That's 4 lanes. I'm can't be in the left lane because it's no trucks. I was in the lane over from that, so the 3rd lane over. And I come up over this hill, and it had rained just a little bit, and I had a heavy-ass load. And so when I saw the cars stopped across the highway, I was like, shit. I tried to hit the brakes, and my ass end did this. And I was like, fuck. If I go to the left, I'm going to hit a guardrail and probably hit oncoming traffic and take out the car that's on the left side. If I go to the right, I went over to the right because I thought, well, I could head towards the shoulder. And because it's always wide enough in the cities for tractor trailers to break down anyways. So I went over towards there, and I saw a station wagon kind of van thing full of kids. And then I saw a truck pulling a camper with kids in the truck, jumping around and playing because they were bored waiting in the traffic jam. And then I saw an old man all the way on the right-hand side on the shoulder changing his tire, and he had the cross tire irons in his hand. And so
This is like a compounded version of the trolley problem in real life.
70-year-old man. Yeah, I picked the 70-year-old man.
Yeah,
and I slammed on my brakes. As soon as I got my truck straight, I slammed on the brakes. I just put both feet on the brakes, and I didn't even have time to downshift. It was just like both feet on the brakes, popped the engine brake, and went over there on that shoulder and just hit the brakes, and he just stopped like this with the tire iron in his hand like this. And he just stared at me, like right in my eyes as I'm coming at him.
Yeah.
And I stopped about 10 feet away.
Oh.
And he, so that all of a sudden there's smoke, and all this smoke just goes, and I can't see anything from the brakes and the tires. Just everything smoked. It's just stunk. Yeah. And as soon as the blast from the air blew the smoke away, he was leaning like this on his car, like, whew.
Oh yeah, I would.
Yeah. And I was like this. So then I tried to get back out in traffic, and the people whose lives I just saved wouldn't even let me out.
Mother,
they just were like, fucking truck driver, and I'm like, dude, I almost killed me and an old man for your ass. Like seriously, were you not paying attention to what just happened? And then the people that I had dodged in front of, they stopped and let me out. And there's a pilot or TA or something truck stop up the road, and I pulled in there and I popped the brake. I didn't even back it in. I pulled it straight in a spot, popped the brake, got out, and I was like this trying to light a cigarette. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm literally just shaking that bad.
No, I bet.
Scared the shit. And that was an old man, not even kids. I can't imagine what he went through with the kids. Like that's
yeah. But no, I mean, you did the right thing, and thank goodness it was able to stop before you hit him. Because,
yeah.
That's why I said it was like God. That's like the compounded trolley problem, like 4 different ways,
what
and
it was.
not good.
I absolutely agree with you. These were my options: this, or that.
Mm-hmm.
And and he was up a little farther, so I had room to get around the traffic and slow down on the shoulder. But I just saw somebody that looked like he had white hair, wearing a fucking golf shirt, and he was trying to change his tire, and I was like, "Sorry, dude." So, yeah, no, I had a friend who was driving through York, Pennsylvania, and they have, I don't know if anybody's ever driven through there, but they have really high walls on the side of the highway through part of it, and this lady just jumped off in front of her truck and committed suicide.
Ooh.
And she hit the lady, and she hit her from the side, and where the top of the hood was right here at her shoulder, so her head went onto the hood. And by the time my friends, there was nothing she could do. She was going like 55, 58 miles an hour. It was 55 mile per hour zone.
No,
and
the okay was
shit.
not.
That woman didn't feel a thing. Her
it wasn't for your friends. It wasn't for your friend that I said that in such an outraged kind of way. It was. I understand.
If you want to commit suicide, don't involve anybody else.
Just don't involve. Thank you. It sounds really callous to say that, but it's true. It's like
no, it's true.
It is. It's true. It's honestly one of the things that long before, decades before I was diagnosed or anybody knew what the fuck was wrong with me. That was a thought that kept me from committing suicide in high school. Was I can't let my mother find me dead. It will kill her.
Yeah.
I can't
I remember
have
you
that
telling
happen.
me that. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I think that's fair. I mean, I'm glad I'm still here. So I'm really glad that I had that thought. Like, but like, don't torture somebody else with it. I mean, I understand that you're not in your right mind. I've been there. Literally, I've been there, and I get it.
This woman was at the same trucking company for like 15 years. She was going to retire there, and she can no longer drive.
Shit, I believe it.
She will not leave. She will not leave her neighborhood, and she walks everywhere. She won't even drive a car. She's done.
I wouldn't either. Yep. That's so. I mean, because that's so graphic.
I wouldn't either.
That could cause PTSD.
Yeah, I didn't want to drive for a couple of years after the accident. My sister forced me to go get a car and forced me to finish my driver's license because I had my permit, and forced me to get a job, and forced me to drive. Like I did not want. I was like, nope. Fuck it, I'll just sit here and be miserable. I'm not getting a vehicle.
I understand.
And then I wouldn't let anybody drive
sister.
with me for. Yeah, I wouldn't let anybody ride with me for a couple of years. Somebody'd say, "Can I get a ride?" Nope. I'm not going to be responsible for your death. Sorry. They'd be like, "What the fuck? I just need to go to the store."
Yeah, no. I had a friend who had a rough time.
Not doing it, man.
Yeah, not doing it. Yeah, I had a friend who she was in one car accident with her girlfriend at the time, and her girlfriend didn't make it. And then years later, she's in a car accident with another girlfriend. And it was the other girlfriend, the second girlfriend that told me the story. She said that the whole time they were in, she was like, I wasn't even hurt that much. They basically just had me in a neck brace. They just wanted to make sure I was fine. But they're in the ER. They've, an ambulance came, took them both to the ER. And she said the entire time, our friend, our mutual friend, whatever. Anyway, it's going to get complicated. The relationships are going to get complicated. But anyway, our mutual friend was turned to her crying and just kept saying, don't die. Please don't die. Please don't die. Please don't die. And it's like, yeah, I get it. I get it. Like you've already been through an accident that wasn't your fault where your lover died. And God, I can't, that's rough. Okay, so, I propose
about
a subject
that heavy shit.
Yeah.
We know I'm really good at bringing stuff down, but yeah, I can do morbid all day if you want. But we should probably not. People have so much to be bummed out about right now. Maybe we could take it to another place.
No, we need to end every serious conversation with a joke. Who's
Okay.
got one? Okay. Junk shop.
Junk
I know
shop?
you do.
Oh, dear. Okay. Okay, I'm going to my old standby, but I don't think I've told it to any of y'all. There's a man walking down the street, and he sees this dude in the middle of the road in a very ugly suit and a very large hat. And the man in the suit and the hat is jumping up and down in the middle of the road, screaming at the top of his lungs over and over, 15! 15! 15! Well, the passerby can't help it. He walks up to the guy in the suit and the hat, says, what in the world are you doing? The guy says, well, I just enjoy doing it. The more I do it, the happier I feel. You should try it. The guy says, well, shit, okay. The guy says, all right, well, you just stand right here and do exactly what I was doing. The guy goes, 15. The man in the hat says, no. No, you got to jump higher and yell louder. The guy goes, 15. This is no. You got to put your heart and soul into it. It's you got to jump as high as you can and shout as loud as you can. The guy finally gets all his strength under him. He jumps as high as he can, and at the top of his lungs, he shouts, 15! While he is in the air, the man in the hat and the suit yanks away the manhole cover. And the guy falls straight down into the manhole. He slides the cover back into place, gets on top of it, starts jumping up and down. 16!
I knew you were going to say that. 16!
That is so messed up. No, you have never told me that joke.
Oh, my God.
A funny serial killer joke. That's hats off, darling. I'm impressed.
Yeah. I mean, that's really good. You had me going there.
I had no idea. I had no idea where that was going. That was awesome.
16. I'm going to start randomly. Just so you know, I'm going to start randomly just saying that, writing it in chat, saying it on streams.
Good. The more inside
my dad told me that joke when I was 10.
Your dad told you that?
When I was 10. And then they wonder why I grew up to be a horror junkie, you know?
Let's think about the psychological repercussions of this childhood.
The first horror movie I was allowed to watch was The Exorcist, because Catholic, and my dad rented it for my friend and I think I was in 6th or 7th grade. And, yeah, I had crucifixes on every wall of my bedroom and one in my closet for years after that.
I feel so guilty, but I'm going to do this anyways with the crucifixes all staring at me.
I was like, demons. They would protect me from the demons. I was sure.
You know, honestly, growing up, we had Mom had a picture of Jesus and the crucifix that had the anointing oils in the back that you could slide it open and had the little slots in it. Oh, yeah. It was really fancy.
Yeah.
And then she had another metal one that was in her bedroom, and it was made out of real lead. And it was lead cross with a black front piece on it, like decoration. And it was plastic or something. I don't know. I'm not sure what that part of it was. But I remember it had fell off the wall before, and it would bend, and we'd have to bend it back. And you were just like, meep.
Meep. Yeah.
Put it back up. Yeah. Because it was lead. So my brother, my brother, the oldest brother, he ended up with that one. But she had that one in her bedroom, and, you know, she had a Bible in the living room, and I never felt guilty. Just didn't even bother me. Yep.
No. I mean, I
felt guilty
didn't
about it. I was never a good Catholic.
Oh yeah, I was for a while. Up until I guess puberty really kicked in, and also an awareness of social things like you know, like I was a young teenager, and I didn't want to be celibate. I was considering joining a religious order. I did seriously consider that at one point, but that ended after 8th grade, pretty much. And then
you're like, nah, never mind.
Yeah, like
I'm not feeling it. Maybe next year.
Like making out with people. So by the time they were seriously recruiting, so by the time they were Yeah, by the time a really nice sister from I think her order was the Sacred Blood of Jesus was the order. By the time she was seriously recruiting,
morbid ass names.
I know,
right?
Where do you think?
No,
why do you think the best?
It's lovely. It's very welcoming.
Got blood in it.
The best goth girls are ex-Catholic girls. You know this. There are reasons. But yeah, so anyway, by the time she was recruiting and told me so, I said I think my exact words were, Sister Elaine, I think I have a little too much French in me for that. Which is a weird ass thing to say to a nun, but how else was I supposed to explain the fact that, like, you know, that whole religious weekend, me and a boy had been fooling around outside, at night the entire time. Like, what?
Right.
No.
Yeah, I'm going. I got to go to my club.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I must go pray.
Oh, that was that was at Teens Encounter.
I must go get on my knees.
I have worshipping to do.
Well,
yes.
La la la.
Anyway.
No, and I was not, and I also was not going to be a fucking Pez dispenser for Jesus either, because I'd watched my mother. My mom.
Yeah, right.
My mom was a great mom. No, Beth, you know what I'm talking about. Like, if you're a Catholic woman, you're supposed to marry a dude. Yeah, and for a lot of us, it's like, really? Do I? Anyway, so you're supposed to marry a dude, and you're supposed to have as many babies as possible, right? No birth control allowed.
Yeah.
And I'd watched my mom have, and I watched my mom have more kids than she really could psychologically deal with, and physically, it was really hard on her too. Really? I wanted no part of that. She was actually very lucky. She had a very compassionate priest, but it's not really my story to tell. But anyway, yeah, it was hard on her, especially after me. Like, she could have died having me, and luckily she did not. And yay, doctors! So,
yeah.
Our
mom was a baby producing machine. She popped
right.
7 of us out in 11 years, and she was like, "I'm fine."
7 and 11. Oh my goodness.
Good Lord.
Yep.
Hats off.
Our brother, the oldest brother, is 11 years older than me. Yep.
Wow.
And not even 11 and 3/4 years. 11 years and a month.
Yeah. I'm the youngest of 4, and 2 are twins. So it's it's weird. That's like, hats off to your mom. She was tough.
Yeah.
Tough lady.
She really loved kids. It was weird. Like, a lot.
Yeah, my mom loved babies and little kids. It's when we got older and mouthy that she had a harder time.
Oh, yeah. She'd just smack us, her little 5'2" self. Don't you talk to me
totally.
like that.
Oh, and you did not mess with Mom when she was in the kitchen, because a wooden spoon could you could get caught with that.
Dude, I didn't tell you about the spoon drawer my mom had?
No.
Oh my God.
Tell me about the spoon drawer.
So our kitchen was like a galley deal, like it was long and skinny, right? Mm-hmm. So there was a big ass table that seated all 8 of us, and the counter ran all the way this way, so it was like the fridge, counter, sink, counter, stove, counter, down to the end of the kitchen. So she'd always yell at us. There was a spot in between the living room and the dining room table and the bathroom door, which was weird. The bathroom was off the kitchen, but oh well.
What are you gonna do?
So she'd always have us right there by the bathroom door. She was always washing dishes or cooking something. I mean, that was her life. That many mouths to feed.
Yeah.
So, so she'd be yelling at us, and there was a drawer right beside the refrigerator, and she kept metal pancake spatulas, rubber spatulas, and wooden spoons in it. There was no knives or anything that could do permanent damage. And this is why, because she would be yelling at us, and she'd reach behind her and yank the drawer open and go, it was like a lottery. You're going, come on, rubber spatula, come on, rubber spatula. Damn, I got the pancake turner. Shit, that's going to hurt. It was literally like that.
Oh, God.
And if she was really pissed off and you hurt someone else or endangered someone else in the family, pants down with the pancake turner. She wasn't playing like 10 whacks, man. Mom wasn't playing 10 whacks, and she was not wimpy. Nope. That's where I got my arms from.
Yeah.
So.
Arms of a Berlin butcher's wife over here, and I get them from my mom. Yeah, that sounds about right. Most of the time I could outrun.
Pain lottery. Yeah, pain lottery.
Yeah,
That's what I'm going to call it from now on.
Sure. It's good that we can laugh about the abuse now.
Well,
I'm not talking. I know,
mom,
and I'm not trying to talk. I'm not trying to talk.
Don't get me wrong. Anybody listening, my mom did not beat me. I deserved every single whack I got, every single time, every smack, every.
This might be a birth order issue then,
did not disturb me at all.
Because I got framed a lot. As the youngest, I got framed a lot, and so I got plenty of spankings and such for shit that I did not do. And so I may still have. I don't have resentment towards my parents. I have resentment towards my siblings. I'm like, you did not. And then one time, it was beautiful though.
Yeah.
One of my brothers put a hole in the wall one night while my parents were out, and they came home, and so my dumbass brother tries to blame it on me, and I was 6 at the time, and my dad just looked at him, and he was like, because I was standing like within earshot, but also kind of half hidden just in case, because I didn't know if this was gonna work or not, and I'm like, oh, yeah, damn it, and so I hear Dad go, I don't think your 6-year-old sister did that, boy. And I was like, okay, I'm good. Go in bed now.
Good night. Look at the time.
Good night. Bye.
Yeah. Yeah. No, not Richard, but the brother above him. Oh man, he did that. It was always me. Even if they were part of it, he always covered for Richard, and most of the time he would try to do stupid stuff, and Richard would be like, yo, brother. Let's think about this before we climb on the garage and start playing with tools. He did stupid shit. Richard probably saved his life I don't know how many times by getting him to not do something that sounded so cool,
There you go.
So, but he would blame shit on me, or if he did something wrong, and my dad would line us up in the oldest to youngest in order position of attention and wanted to start beating me first. He'd start with the baby and beat until he found out who did it. So,
wow, that's some Von Trapp
so my brothers and
shit.
sisters. Oh, he was fucked up. My dad was fucked up, but I think it was military shit. Did some shit to his head. But anyways, so the siblings caught on, and the second sister down, who was really close to me, she would get up and be like, "I did it, Dad. Don't hit Elizabeth. I did it." Oh yeah, she took beatings for me all the time. Which really were beatings for my brother. Yeah.
Yeah, my big sister looked after me too. She definitely shielded me from a lot. Yeah. But it is weird how it's birth order is fascinating to me, because of just how it works on the eldest, the youngest, and everybody in the middle. I definitely benefited from being the last one. My parents were older by the time they had me. The other 3 were teenagers. It was like I'm
not chasing you.
Yeah. They had calmed down in a lot of ways, and so like my siblings tell me shit from when they were little before I was born, and I'm like this. I'm like, what did they do? Like, Dad thought that was okay, and I don't mean to disparage my parents. They're lovely people. I almost said they were. They're alive, and they are lovely people.
That's nice. Doubly nice.
No, yeah. I just mean, they've they always. I will say this: they made mistakes, like all parents do, but we always knew we were loved, and we were always cared for. We always had what we needed, So
right.
That's awesome. It wasn't always fancy or anything like that, but we had what we needed. We never went hungry. We never went without shoes, and I grew up with kids who could not say the same. So.
Yeah. Our mom, we had a garden, and she got food stamps, and they had garnished my dad's Navy retirement, and they would only take $150 from him a month. And so we didn't have a lot of money. So we got assistance for the utilities, and then we got, back then they were, you guys remember, real food stamps in a book.
Yeah, they were stamps in a book. Yeah.
Yeah, because we grow our own food, and our freezer was almost always full. Mom would keep a little bit to buy like flour, sugar, stuff she can't make herself. and then she'd sell the rest at 75 cents on the dollar so she could pay for whatever. They need school clothes. I better go sell. Like my mother would go into downtown, that city that was full of a bunch of hoodlums and crime, and she would. I went with her one time and she parked way far away from it and said, "Stay right here, keep the doors locked, I'll be right back." And she walked up into the main road and took a left. And then about 20 some odd minutes later, she came back and I saw her again. And I was like, damn.
Yeah.
It's like, Mom,
you're a badass.
How many times have you done this for us? Yeah. 5'2". Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, how many times have you done this for us? She goes, "Oh, don't worry about it. It's my problem. I'm the mom. It's my responsibility. I need to take care of everything." And she wouldn't let me in any further than that until I was 16.
That's fair.
So.
Also, hands up if you were ever left in a car and it was fine, and or never had a car seat. Yep.
What are car seats? We had one of those station wagons with the buck seats. We would be climbing over the seat, sitting down. "Hi, Mom. Where are we almost there? No? Okay, I'm going to crawl to the back now." And
every
just
time
go back
we went
over and...
Every time we drove to Louisville to visit family or Georgia to visit family, it's like one of my brothers camped out in the back of the, we had one of those wood paneled station wagons, and he camped out in the back of it. You know what I mean? Like the back of it. And then the other two eldest, my sister and our oldest brother, they would sit on the seat, and then I would basically be in the floorboard playing with stuff because again I was small.
The floorboards were huge back then. They were this wide. Yeah, you could sleep. But the seats were really big. You could, two people on the seat, one on the floor, one on the front seat, one on the floor, and
our parents on the front. I'd be down there with coloring books and shit and toys. I guess it's just really good that we never had an accident. Because there
was so much less traffic on the highways back then. That's really all it is. People drive more dangerously. No, there's just more people.
There's just more people.
Our infrastructure can't handle it.
No.
And the government needs to do something about it.
Something would be nice.
There's just so many car accidents every year. It's ridiculous.
Oh gosh, Beth, do you realize what's happened? We've got two relative introverts on the stream with two relative extroverts, and they're not getting to talk at all. No, I just realized it. I'll talk all night if you let me. So, guys, please, and generally meant guys, just please speak, say stuff.
You're not being rude. Jump in, damn it.
You're still muted.
You're muted, baby. We can't hear you, Nels.
This is a rare event. This is a non-alcoholic beverage.
Oh, congrats. I guess.
Me too.
Oh, no, I have wine.
Mine is not non-alcoholic.
So that begs a question, Junk Shop. Why do people buy O'Doul's?
I have never been able to figure that out.
Okay, I was just wondering if it's not just me. Okay.
No, it's not just you. It's a dumb concept, and I don't understand it.
I like the taste of beer. Not O'Doul's. That shit's nasty.
Yeah.
It's not even a good beer. Yeah.
It's like you took a loaf of bread and soaked it in water and then drank the soak water.
Yeah. No, thank you.
Oh, that just made me a little nauseous thinking about that.
It did.
It did a little, right?
Yeah.
And I'm sitting here next to 3 aquariums. I'm looking at 3 tanks of aquarium water in it, and I'm not getting nauseous. But the thought of drinking O'Doul's made me a little queasy.
Oh, that's because your aquariums are probably cleaner than O'Doul's. Oh, I don't even drink beer. I have no business. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to O'Doul's, I guess. They will never sponsor your podcast.
Hi, Randy.
Hey, Randy.
Hey,
Randy.
We were talking. Sorry, buddy. Math Pig's in there somewhere. I saw him.
Oi.
I saw him. I swear.
Hey, Math Pig. Oh, kitty.
Oink.
There's a kitty for a second. Sorry, Shadow Kitty had a kitty.
Yeah, I know because mine are asleep. I know it's not mine. Mine are crashed underneath the bed.
Mine are dead. That came out weird. I'm sorry. That came out strange.
I'm gonna go cry now.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. They've been gone for a while. I had Bubastis for 15 years. Oh, I drove B away. No. I had a little black cat, Bubastis, for 15 years, and I had a very fat mackerel tabby named Aloysius for 13 years, and they both died within 6 months of each other of different things, and yeah, and so actually we don't even know what Bubastis died of because she was fine that morning, and then I went to teach a class and came back about 4 hours later, and she was dead on the floor. And yeah, and I mean that morning, like when I gave them breakfast, she ate. She was fine as far as I know. Just something just gave. I don't know what.
Yeah. She died of being old as fuck.
She died of being old, and and we couldn't afford a necropsy at the time, so.
Yeah. And it was literally mid-stride apparently because she was on her side in a walking pose.
Yeah.
So it apparently had just gone.
Probably just had a heart attack.
Maybe.
Yeah. Brain
embolism. I think it was fast because there was nothing around her mouth. There was just nothing. And poor Aloysius, oh my gosh, he was in the far, like when he heard me come in, apparently he'd been hiding upstairs ever since whatever happened. And he came down the stairs, but he wouldn't leave the bottom step. He was just terrified. He was like, I don't know what happened, but shit is hella wrong. And that was
right. He probably went over and sniffed her, and when the animals sniff another dead animal, they'll freak out.
Yeah,
it's instinct for them to run away and stay away from it in case someone it got attacked and the attacker's still there. Kind of
sure, and the hunter's still there or whatever. Yeah. Well, we gave her a good Scottish sending off. We wrapped her in tartan.
Aw,
took care of her.
Cool.
So, yeah. Junk Shop's boss at the time. And we
brought it down again.
Dead pets, everybody, dead pets. Okay, so Junk Shop's boss at the time was a cat lover himself and had several cats. And when he asked, Junk Shop told him, he was like, my wife's cat just died. I need to take a long lunch because I don't know how. She just called me in tears. I was freaking out. I couldn't touch her. I couldn't move. I was just freaking out. And he said, I need to go. I need to take my lunch now, and it might be longer than half an hour. And his boss was like, how long has she had the cat? And he said, 15 years. And he was like, oh, God, that's like a child. Go. Take as long as you need. And I was like, okay, thank you.
Shit.
So, yeah. But, yeah. So, anyway, I'm sorry. That's why I say things like that. I had those cats for most of my adult life, and we tried getting other cats, and we ended up having to give them away. Our personalities just clashed with their destructiveness, and
right.
And they went to good homes. Don't judge me. We vetted. We made sure. We even had we went through a website that vets pet owners, wannabe pet owners, and then they were adopted through that. It's a whole thing. They're fine.
I adopted a cat that had feline leukemia.
Oh, bless her heart.
I knew she had it, but I didn't know shit about it.
Right.
So I started dating this chick, and we were going to move in together, and it was getting serious, and she had 2 cats.
Oh
dear.
So the shelter I got her from, they said, hey, look, it's hard to take care of a cat that has leukemia, and if it's too much for you, bring her back, because we never thought we'd give her away. She was just kind of part of the family. We didn't think anybody would adopt her. So I took her back there, and I felt horrible. Although they were amazing. These women had a little, I'd say mom and pop, but it was lesbian and lesbian shelter.
Nice.
And
it was a mom and mom shelter.
Yes, it was a mom and mom shelter. And you walked in, it was spotless. Everybody had food and water. There was no poop in the litter pans. Literally, they kept up with it better than I do my own damn cats. They were totally fanatical about it. So I took her back, and because they're a shelter, a nonprofit, I brought a big 50-pound bag of dog food and a 40-pound 2 things of 20-some-odd pounds of cat food, and then I brought the cat food I had been giving her. I brought 2 sacks of it, and they put it in a bin and put her name on it, so that way she could still have her good food. She was used to it. Her stomach was used to it. And then I donated a bunch of litter. So I spent
hell yeah.
$150 or something, just so, because I couldn't. Oh my God, I bawled. And when
I know.
And when I brought her back in, the girl that was working the front put her back in a cage and then went to the back, and the girls in the back, all three of them came out and pulled her out and went, "Oh, we miss you."
Oh.
So I was like, oh. Made me feel a little better, but
good.
Yeah. And then she ended up being a psycho bitch, and I was like, I gave up my cat for what? So I'll never do it again. Last time.
Damn it.
One and only time. One and only time.
Fair.
Never happen again. Lesson learned.
Understood. Well, it's funny. I knew that Junk Shop was special because, well, I mean, I knew it was. But I knew that our relationship was special, but I knew that them in particular, still learning, sorry, was a very special human when Bubastis, the little black cat that had been a street cat and would never sat in my lap all the years I had her, never sat in anyone else's lap. I came home like the first week we were living together with the cats, and she's just curled up in his lap asleep, and he's sitting there with just this big grin, like, hey, check it out. I was like, how did this happen? And they were like, I don't know, I just sat down on the couch and she got up here. I was like, okay. She was never a lap cat.
Cats choose their owners.
Mm-hmm.
If you have multiple cats and multiple people in a house, like any more than two, the cats are anytime one cat with multiple people in the house, that cat's gonna be like, you're my human.
Yeah. So, Aloysius would he would wedge himself between Junk Shop and I on the couch. He'd be like, move over, motherfucker, she's mine. It's so weird.
Shadow, he had the leverage to be able to do that. He was a big old boy. He would push me out of the way.
That's great. Like,
yeah, exactly. He'd stretch out his paws like this. Like you can go that-ish way.
Yeah, go. Get away.
And I'm going to cuddle up to hers, and he'd have like his head and half his side on my hip, and then have his legs pushed out, ready to extend the claws.
I'm really lucky. I have a very unique situation because both of my cats are really attached to me.
Oh.
Like, they both picked me, which is weird because usually if you have two cats and one picks you, the other one will back off. But, my boy's dominant, so my female backed off for a little bit, and now she's kind of been like, yo, dude, you got to share. Like, I love her too.
Oh,
they take turns, so I'm always petting or being woken up by somebody. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
But it's all right.
That is awesome.
Yeah, they're good babies.
That was the last thing I'll say about my old cats is that was the other funny thing about Bubastis is she weighed 5 pounds. Aloysius weighed 14 pounds. But she was the dominant cat. She had this, like, he'd try and play with her, and she was cool with that. She was cool with a little tussling, a little cat playing. It's fine. But when she got tired of it or he got too rough, she had this like ninja move where suddenly his face was on the floor and he was just rolled over like, okay, I'm sorry.
Ninja cat.
I'm sorry. And then she just gracefully walked away, tail in the air, and he'd lay there until she was gone. Yeah, it was badass.
Right. Well, I know Nels' baby is like his little buddy support animal.
He's my little buddy, yeah. Yeah, when I got him, you talk about like pets choosing you, and when I first wanted to get Shadow from the Feline Medical Center, it was like, oh, I really want this one, and they had to do the background check, the thorough background. Boy, they were really thorough too. And then after 5 days, they called up and said I was approved for adoption. And when I showed up, the receptionist was like, can I help you? I was like, I'm Mr. Anderson. It's like, and I'm here for Shadow. So, oh, he's around here somewhere. They would leave the cage doors open so the cats could like mingle and socialize. It was better for socialization.
Aww,
and right at that
point
to the left, there was a short corridor, and Shadow was walking across that, and he saw me, and he came running up to me. And I picked him up, and he's like biting on the brim of my baseball cap and purring. And the receptionist went, well, that looks like a match made in heaven.
Yeah. You're going to make me cry, man. Oh, my goodness.
That's amazing. I love
that
it.
Is awesome.
That's awesome.
Yep. That's how I've gotten. Well, that's how I've three cats. The one I had as a kid, and then the two that I had as an adult. They all just like literally like just kind of showed up on my doorstep and were like, "Hey, I live here now," and it's like, "Okay, fine, come on in. You live here now."
That's how I got my other cat, Freddie. Used to be the neighbor's cat, and he decided he wanted to live with Shadow, so now I get 2 cats to feed.
my dad got 2 Russian blues that way.
Well, he started living with one neighbor across the street after a while, and his roommate got a dog, and that tore it. It was like, okay, I'm not visiting here. I'm taking a spot on the bed with you.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But the 2 of them, they're best buddies. You should like frickin' frack. I got these 2 big black cats, and where one is the other is always there too.
Oh, cool. And I'm so happy. Whenever I hear about people adopting black cats, it makes me happy because black cats are put down more than any other color or breed because of people are superstitious. That's
sound
it.
Familiar?
Yeah.
Sound familiar?
Yeah, it does, unfortunately.
See how we just looped right back around to the beginning of the conversation again?
Damn it.
Ta-da!
All comes full circle.
Oh, yes.
To be very clear, it's a loose analogy, but yeah.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
Yeah, my cat was in a house with 8 other kittens because her mother got pregnant twice.
Oh, no.
And so they had, I think, 9 cats or 8 cats total, and then she had given out, my friend had given away 3 of them, and she was still trying to find homes for the other ones. Of course, the little cute orange one went first, and then, kind of like that. So a bunch of the tabbies she had were the color of my cat, and she had no, I'm sorry, that's not true. She had 3 black ones, 3 orange ones, and 2 tabbies.
Oh.
And 2 gray tabbies. And so I came over. She was like, "You want a cat?" And I was like, "Oh, all right, fine. I don't have an animal right now." So I'd given that other animal away about a year before that. Right. Well, I ended up with 2 of them, but so I was looking at them. So she's like, "Oh, they're upstairs in my bedroom because the dogs are loose right now, running around because her other roommate had Saint Bernard and a Cocker Spaniel." So when they were running free in the house, they put the kittens in one of her rooms. So anyway, so she opens the door and there's kittens just scatter everywhere, and I'm like, Jesus, this is it's like a fun kitten hunt without bullets. Catch it with your hands.
Gosh.
So I go underneath the bed and I look and I'm like, oh my God, that one's so cute. So I try to grab her and she runs and she goes underneath it and she's underneath the dresser and I had to move laundry baskets and I finally got her, and she didn't want to let go of the carpet. And then I put her inside my vest, and because it was towards the end of winter, so it was still a little chilly out, and I had a vest on. So I put her in my vest, and she said, "Don't let my boys," because she had 2 sons. Don't let them see you take her out of the house. They don't want to give any of them away. I got to sneak them out. And I'm like, all right, fine. Aww. So I stick her inside my vest, and I just booked for the door. And she was kind of freaking out. And then we got outside, and she kind of got curious, and we got in the car, and then she was like, okay, I'm good. And she just, because before she was trying to get out, she just stuck her head out the sleeve of my vest and just looked out the window and checked shit out while we were driving home. And I got her home and she ran around a little bit and freaked out a little bit. And then she was like, okay, you're my human. I'm good.
Aww.
And she was just this big with the tail still sticking up in the air when they have that phase. Yeah. Before they really start using it, and there's just a butthole running around the living room everywhere.
Pretty much, yeah. Look at my butthole phase of kittenhood.
A butthole and an antenna.
Looks like an exclamation point.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, when we found Aloysius, he fit in my hand, and then later weighed 14 pounds. I'm like, how? Well, actually, I know how. It's because there was an established adult cat in the apartment, and I read somewhere that because I was trying to figure out why he was eating so much and getting so fat, and apparently it's because they will literally try to make themselves bigger to feel safer if there's an adult feline in that. Yeah, and they're the second ones in. It's like they're coming in on somebody else's territory, and they want to feel because cats, they're not colony.
Yeah, trying to be more dominant.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm the king of this pride, damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll just way more than you. Oh, I'm on my head again. She flipped me.
Yeah.
Well, my girl is 13 pounds and my boy's 16.
Oh, wow.
Pretty close to within a pound.
Yeah.
And they are a year and a half old now, so they're finally at the point of slowing down growing. So I think 16 to 18 will be the max for him, but he's such a tomcat. He's got big paws.
Oh, yeah.
His daddy was literally an outside tomcat. His mom got outside and his daddy got a hold of her. And they had some beautiful ass kittens. It was weird. He was ugly with that big flat face, big wide face, big flat nose. He was like mangled with his fur. He had long hair, which luckily none of the cats came out with long hair because the mom had super short hair, so they all just came out regular. But his coat was all matted. He was just a tomcat, like an alley cat.
Long hair is a thing to deal with on a cat.
I won't. I really don't like long haired cats, honestly. I just don't like them.
At this point, I'm so allergic I can't have. That's why we don't have any, because I get hives. Yeah, it sucks. I had cats.
You tell me.
I had cats my whole life until I was late 30s, darling.
It was. I'm not sure it was that. Yeah, it's just been within the last couple of years. So yeah.
Yeah, it hasn't been long, but literally, we had the two cats we tried to adopt after the originals that I've been talking about passed away. One of them was long haired, and they were litter mates, and one had long hair and one had short hair. And the long haired one was sitting behind me on the couch, and suddenly it felt like ants were running up and down my back. And I leaned forward really quickly and yanked up my shirt, and I was like, "What is on me?" And is there something on me? And and they looked over and said, there's nothing. I mean, there's no bugs or anything, but honey, you are covered in hives. And I was like, awesome. So I went upstairs and took a shower and then ate a Benadryl. And that's when we started looking for a new home for the kitties.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of got to at that point. Yeah.
Yeah. That was a bit much. I'm like, okay.
What's
medium long hair, and we get a lot of fur balls thrown up because he's always licking himself, and I can never get to him in time. It's like, please just aim for the hardwood floor, not the carpet.
Not the carpet. Not the carpet. Yeah.
If you've ever picked up a cat and done the run toward the tile,
yeah,
all you can do is aim them.
And you hope you're not hurting them by doing that because they're in the midst of coughing up something. So it's like, I'm sorry.
And you're like, wait, there. Do it there.
Yeah.
Not on the white carpet.
Yeah, please.
Except then half the time, once you put them down, they're so discomfited by having been moved so quickly that they turn around and run. And they go up and finish hawking up whatever it is under a couch, under a dresser, always on the carpeted surface. Yeah.
They're not wrong.
That is a fact, sir.
Frustrating. Yeah. Oh, all right. We love cats. I can't see the chat. What are people saying?
What? Oh, hold on.
I'm on my phone. I didn't bother to pop it out.
Yeah, my laptop's in the way because I'm trying out a new thing here. Aha!
Oh,
wow! I didn't know you were there, honey.
Oh. Hey, IQ, how's it going?
I've been lurking.
I'm sorry, I just saw your message.
You were behind my laptop. I'm sorry. New setup. I'm still playing with it.
You are underestimating the sneaky.
I'm underestimating my sneakiness. I can sneak in just like that.
IQ posted in the private chat, knock, knock, and then another one, someone please notice me and tell B I'm here. I just saw it. I'm so sorry.
Well, I saw the comments and I was like, oh, I don't know, maybe Junk Shop and Julie are saying something to each other on the... So I clicked on it and I was like, IQ, blah, blah, blah. Oh, shit, where is he? He's back there somewhere behind my computer. Oh, poor IQ. How you doing, sweetheart?
Patience is worthless without a weight to endure.
Oh. That's interesting. I like that.
Monfrey.
Yeah.
I'm good.
I'm not patient at all.
Yeah.
Oh, we're good. Give us a new topic. We've been talking about cats for a long time.
Well, because I too have had a cat die of FIV.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh,
that's not changing the subject.
That's okay. You can talk about that. We're here for you.
Contribute.
Yeah.
Yes. Cat's name was Sebastian. This shows my age, but I had named it after the lead singer of Skid Row.
Nice.
Oh, touche, my fellow decader.
Yeah, I can deal with that.
Oh, wait, Sebastian Bach, he's from my area.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. You got two people excited, Nels.
I thought he was so fine when I was a teenager, or a preteen, I guess.
Everybody did. I mean, every girl did, and a couple
He used to
boys.
come into the store when I used to teach in Red Bank. There was a music store there that I taught out of, and he was friends with one of the salesmen, and so he'd come in once in a while to the store.
I would have thoroughly embarrassed myself.
You know, the man hits notes that's caused more ambulances to show up to karaoke bars than Bacardi, so...
It's true.
That's off.
That is fair, because, you think you can do something because you did, like, choir in high school, and then you try to sing a Skid Row song, and you're like, whoa, I forgot how high this was.
Yeah, it's pretty high, man.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's high for me, and I'm an alto. I can't even do mezzo soprano hardly. So no.
I'll try, but you know, like you gotta like. That's the way the voice works. You can have a natural range, but if you suck at it, you keep trying, your voice will hit those notes if you keep at it. But you have to be able to endure not being able to do it for a while.
Yeah, and just like any other skill, if you don't do it for a long time, you have to. It's not quite like starting over, but it's similar. Because and certainly, you know, I started smoking when I realized I couldn't sing well enough to try to go to NYU and major in musical theater. That was my original plan. I had no idea how I was going to pay for that.
Funny. Well, I can't sing good enough, so
I can't sing good enough to be on Broadway. So fuck it, I'm going to smoke. Yeah, that was my
right.
Because at that point, I was like, well, if I'm just singing for fun in the shower, I don't care.
I wonder how many people Broadway's turned to cigarettes.
No. Oh.
Well, I know there's lots of models and stuff that smoke because it's an appetite suppressant. So they do that instead of eating. So they have to be, you know, a size half or something, whatever that is.
It's so funny to me, too, that you bring that up, because I've had older ladies say to me, oh, do you smoke to try and control your weight? And I'm like, have you seen me? I don't control shit. Like,
it's also a decent form of birth control, depending on if you're hitting on a non-smoker.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Yeah, there's a reason Junk Shop and I both smoke and are still compatible.
I mean, I smoked for like 15 years. And for about the past 6 years, almost going on 7, just strictly vape. And, you know, I've held people's cigarettes. You know, like I could smoke a cigarette, but like I don't want it because I know how nasty it tastes and just the way it smells. It's just, I can smell things again. Food tastes better. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And like, I used to love smoking, you know, and I was an asshole too. I was the type that, you know, cigarette is good before, during, and after just about everything. If you smoke in the shower, you might need help. But aside from that, it's just great for everything. I loved wanting that cigarette. I love that instant gratification of lighting up a cigarette and all your problems disappear for about 0.03 seconds.
Yep.
And I love the fact that the smell pissed off non-smokers. It was just, there was nothing bad about it as far as my, head was concerned. But it's, the whole cancer thing, that it really kind of puts a damper on it.
I got to say, I did watch a friend's grandmother, literally watched, I was there in the room, watched a friend's grandmother die of emphysema, and that was not fun. She was a lovely lady. She was very kind to me. I knew her for a long time. And she, before she got that bad, she had the portable oxygen tank that went everywhere with her. And at least one, actually more than once, she expressed she said, I know it would kill me, but sometimes I still want a cigarette so bad. It's almost worth it. But she was like I said, she was my friend's grandmother, and she passed away in the 90s. So she started smoking before World War II. So had been at it for a while, too. And it was like the Lucky Strike filterless cigarette.
Well, I smoked those for a while.
Did you? One of the good things about smoking is that if people go to bum a cigarette off you and you show them, it's like, oh, never mind. You know what? Fair. You know what I used to keep in my pocket, Nils? When I was in the Army, I had bought a pack of Marlboros, and I smoked all but one, and I kept it in my left pocket.
Oh, so you'd have the stale-ass one for them.
Well, watch this. So everybody was smoking Newports, because I was in the Army with a lot of black people, a lot of black women. They all smoked Newports.
Right.
So eventually, I just started buying Newports, and I'd keep that one Marlboro in my pocket. If anybody tried to bum a cigarette, I'd pull it out, and they'd see Marlboro, and they'd go, nah, man, I'm good. Thanks. I'm not that desperate. I want a Newport. So then I was done with basic training, and I moved to an area where everybody smoked Marlboros. So I bought a pack of Newports, smoked all but one, put them in my left pocket, and every time we tried to bum a cigarette, I pull out the Newports. And it worked. They were like, oh, no, man, I was hoping maybe you had a Marlboro. And they'd walk away. Great.
The word manipulative has a really bad rap. It's misused a lot.
I think so, too.
But that is such an eloquent usage of manipulation. That's gorgeous.
Thank you.
Love it.
Well, you are on the Army pay, too. I mean, you can't afford to just be giving those things away.
Yeah. You make shit, yeah. You don't make shit until you get over, like, E4. Then you start making decent money. But so,
yeah.
Yep, that was my trick.
My my brother's best friend growing up, his mom smoked Newports and Newport menthols, and she we were always after her to quit. We were like, Miss Corey, you gotta quit, it's bad for you. We were kids, and it was the 80s, and it was all the there were cancerous lungs all over television, and that woman has survived her husband, unfortunately and sadly, 2 of her children. And out of five, she's got 3 that are fine, and then she's got grandchildren, and she's okay. But she survived so many people in her family, and she is still smoking those Newports to this day.
That's exactly what I was going to say next, Julie.
Yeah.
The problem here is that not everybody is susceptible to cancer.
Yeah.
Second of all, emphysema and chronic bronchitis will kill you faster for being a smoker than anything else. That is way, like, everybody's like, oh, cancer. No, really, heart disease and emphysema and chronic bronchitis. That's what's going to kill you. You're just going to stop breathing.
True that.
Yeah, that is true. COPD.
Or you're going to have a heart attack. Don't worry about cancer. Worry about those 3 things. That's,
That's how you're actually backing up what doctors have said to me. They're like, well, you don't have COPD yet. Just quit before you get it, because once you get it, we can't. There's no going back from that. I was like, okay, great.
Yeah, too much damage. You can't repair it.
No.
Hi, Susan.
Hello.
Oh, hi, Gio.
Hey, Gio.
Somebody asked me for a light at a bar one time, and I had matches. Handed them matches. They're like, oh, the smoke that comes off those matches has been shown to link to Alzheimer's disease. I looked at the cigarette. I says, you're fucking worried about Alzheimer's.
Why do you think I smoke? Dementia runs in my family. I don't want to live long enough to get it. There are reasons.
That's like bumming a cigarette off of somebody, complaining that it's the wrong kind, and then taking off the filter and throwing it on the ground and lighting it because you don't want to deal with the fiberglass.
Right? Yeah. Oh, there's fiberglass in those. Really? You're worried about that right now? Those make your lungs bleed, really?
Yeah.
Now, I say that
fiberglass.
I say that as the person who smokes. This is not a commercial, by the way. Also, don't smoke. It's bad for you. If you haven't started, don't fucking do it. But
God, don't. My daughter just quit after years. I'm so proud of her. She's dropped them.
Good for her.
Oh, well done.
The doctor said if she wants, and she quit vaping. The doctor said if she wants her breast reduction, she can't have any nicotine for so many months before.
Right.
Because of blood circulation.
Yeah,
yep.
Yeah. And that messes with the healing process.
Yep, she just dropped it all. She doesn't drink or anything anymore.
Oh my gosh, good for her.
She's ready to get those. She's ready to get those 44 triple E's or whatever they are cut off.
Okay, I get the motivation.
She's got
ready to not have chronic back pain.
Yeah,
she's got some bone degeneration in her spine.
Oh,
and so she had backaches off and on her whole life, and everybody's like boobs, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and she's about to be 29, so she's not old.
No.
So she went to the doctor. He found the degenerative issues and said, "Yep, there's the thing. Go get your breast reduction." She was like, "Yes."
Yeah, right.
She's been trying to get it for years. Yeah.
You say triple E?
Dude, she's huge. She weighed them one time.
Because I can't even picture that.
She took a bathroom scale and set it on the sink and put each boob on it. And one was 15 pounds and one was 15 and a half.
Oh my gosh. Sorry, as somebody who's never been above
her chest.
Yeah, as somebody who's never been over a B, but I've known other women who had huge tracts of land, and oh my gosh, yeah, it's rough. It is rough.
Yeah, and they're just like she wears 2 bras because they don't hold her tight enough.
Oh gosh, poor thing.
She wears 2 bras every day.
Oh, and she probably has to special order them.
Yeah, the divot in her shoulder is like this deep.
Oh, I'm 29 already.
Yeah.
Oy.
It's bad, man.
So
she got it from my mom. Our mom was big. She was big chested.
Yeah.
Didn't get it from
but
me.
Being able to quit smoking, that's
it,
awesome.
Baby.
Yeah, I guess you got to have the right motivation. That's amazing.
She's also very, very much a baby dyke, so she doesn't want them anyways.
Sure.
So it's just like everything just fell into place right. And some people are like, "What size are you going down to?" And she's like, 0. She's having them lopped off all the way. She doesn't want.
Oh wow!
Wow, a double mastectomy.
Can I ask you?
Yes, basically.
Okay, if this is too personal, just tell me to shut the fuck up, or just say nope, not gonna answer that.
Ask. I don't care.
Okay, I'm gonna ask.
I'll tell you.
But if it's
no.
too personal, don't answer. Is she gonna keep her nipples?
Oh no, they're putting her nipples back on and stuff.
Yeah, because I think they can take out the tissue and then Okay.
Yeah, she's just gonna have a guy chest. She's gonna have a guy chest. That's all.
That's fine.
With some minor scarring. Yeah.
Oh, good.
She goes, "Mom, I know this sounds weird, but I want to take a picture of my boobs before and then take a picture after they've healed for a few days, so you can like see the difference." Is that weird? I'm like, I've seen your boobs. I'm your mom. I don't give a shit. Show them to me.
Yeah, like, it's not weird. You're her mom.
It's not something I haven't seen all over the damn United States. TV. It's anatomical. It's not. It's not weird. So
well, yeah, and it's your daughter. This isn't a sexual situation. It's a like you said, an anatomical situation.
Oh, don't say that. Oh,
sorry.
I can't.
But if you want weird, you have to tell me that. You know what? Never mind.
But no, I get, like, I totally get that. And I've had friends who have wanted desperately to get a breast reduction, but they're not quite, they're not her size. They're not quite big enough to where they can get it and get it covered by insurance.
Medically.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they can't get a medical. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it's
guess
rough.
how much she has to pay out?
Oh, no.
Her copay is $950.
Oh, that's not bad.
No,
she thought it was going to be. She thought it was going to be like $2,500.
Yeah, the $2,500 was about what my getting my gallbladder out was, and I have great insurance. So yeah,
she's got pretty good insurance. So yeah, so she $950. I was like, yes, because she was worried. She's like, Mom, I don't know how I can save up this money. I don't think I'll be able to save it up in time. So my check that I got in, I was gonna send her some of it, so she could like $500 or $600, whatever, so she could cover it.
Yeah,
and just give it to her because she's having the procedure the day after her birthday. So I was just going to give her like $500 as an early birthday present, and then she could pay it, when she gets there.
Happy birthday / breast reduction.
Right. Right. So but it's $1,550 less than they said. So I'm like, okay, good. I don't have to. Yeah. That's great.
That is so cool. I'm so happy for her.
That's
good
awesome.
for her.
I am too. She's excited. I can't even tell you. Yeah.
Well, there's a lot about, reclaiming parts of one's body that I think we're only just now as a society really talking about openly, but also like it's important. And it's just as important as like the clothing one chooses to wear when we can express ourselves and aren't in like a uniform for something, and
right.
Hairstyle, makeup or not, facial hair or not, all that stuff. It's important to us as individuals, and if you can, and some of us, some of us can't do that without surgical intervention, and that's why it's called confirmation surgery, which is.
Have any of you guys heard about the they were doing like brain scans on different people, and so they did brain scans on a bunch of straight people and people that identified as their sex. And then they did a bunch of scans on trans people. And so I don't know how much you guys know, and I don't know exactly the terminology, so forgive me. I just randomly caught this information somewhere. So there's certain parts of the brain that are more active in men, and there's certain parts of the brain that are more active in women. Mm-hmm. So the male to female trans, and the brain scans came up female. And the female to male trans, the brain scan came up male.
Yeah, I have heard about that.
There you
go. I have not gone and read the original study, but I was thrilled.
It's literally not junk science, y'all. Like they actually have that brain.
Yes, these men that want to be women actually have a female brain. The activity is exactly like a female's. It's not kind of or sort of. It's almost identical to, if not identical to, what a female brain function would be anyways.
Yep.
So, there you go. You want some science. Don't be against trans people because they really are in the wrong body.
That's right.
Leave them the hell alone.
Yay, science.
Agreed.
I just try to stick to the don't be against blank people.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, good point.
Well, that's a good baseline practice, yeah.
It is.
Just leave the blank out and just say don't be against people.
People.
Yeah.
Just move on from there.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
It's not like I'm specifically targeting blank people here. I don't want to leave the blank people out.
Yeah, if you're blank,
people have nothing to offer.
But we all have a responsibility of self. Nobody's more responsible for you than you, and you should love you the way you want to be. And people should fucking accept that. Whatever it is, if you want to be straight, if you want to be trans, if that's who you want to be, if that's who you are, fucking do it. And everybody should accept that because it's you, damn it.
Yeah,
you have that responsibility to yourself.
Person hasn't changed. This is something somebody said to me when I came out of the closet, and I called all my friends, I called my family in order of age and told everybody, and my friends were like, oh, it's cool, we don't care, and then I lost all of them except for one person.
Mm-hmm.
And the one person said to me, I said, I know you're probably freaked out by this, blah, 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 and she said, wait a minute, hold on, stop. I was like, oh God, here we go. And she said, are you still Beth? I said, yeah. She said, you're still the Beth I've known for 11 years now. Yeah? She said, okay, well, I got to get back into work. Love you. See you later. Walked away.
Exactly.
One person. And that's exactly what it is. If someone is trans or cross-dressing or whatever you want to call whatever level, whatever depth of that, you know, they're still the same person you already knew. They're just showing you the other piece of them, the other piece of the puzzle you didn't know about. Oh, there's more to the puzzle. There's this corner I'm missing. That's all it is. It's just another piece of the puzzle. And
the one that always gets me that I love is I always feel very honored when anyone comes out to me about anything, because it's very much it feels like a trust thing. It's like, oh, thank you for trusting me enough. You know, that's really cool. But also there's with several folks over the years, it's kind of been like, yeah, I know, it's fine. I mean, you know, and they're like, oh, what, you knew? I'm like, well, honey. I mean, so but I was like, well, you know, but I wouldn't. And they were like, you never said anything. And I was like, well, it wasn't my place to say anything. You know, that wasn't my job. Like, in fact, the one that really springs to mind is this lovely person that, don't worry, I'm not going to use any names, but this lovely person who I met through another friend, and so we go to this guy's work, and my friend is like, oh, hey, like, I've known this guy since high school. He's awesome. I want to introduce you. I'm like, cool, let's do it. And so she's introducing me to this guy, and we're talking and we're chit chatting. And then just off the cuff, he's like, yeah, my wife, blah, blah, blah. And I'm not a great liar. And I'm not like, I think I instantly looked confused because my friend kind of very gently kind of nudged me, like, no. And then as we were walking out of the store, I was like, he has a wife? And she was like, he doesn't realize it yet. Don't worry about it. It's fine. And the next time we met,
come in a couple of years. Yeah.
Exactly. And the next time we met was at the Most Fabulous Story Ever Told at a production here in town of The Most Fabulous Story Ever Told. And he was out and he was divorced, and the two of them and he and his former wife were still best friends, just like they'd been in high school. They had mistaken being that the love they had for each other as best friends for something else, and
as being a sexual thing, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It does.
And oh my gosh, and he was so happy, and he was so centered in who he was, and it was one of the coolest things ever, just to see somebody like be them, you know, fully.
Right. And you know, that's the key. Like, people, I'm at work and people call me sir from behind, which I don't know why, because no respectable man should have an ass this size. But anyways. They call me sir, and people are like, oh, they called you sir, and I'm like, I don't really care though. I mean, I don't really feel like either one, so I don't care. And they're like, that doesn't bother you? I'm like, well, they're still showing me respect. What more can you want? They could have said hey, or damn it, or asshole,
or bitch, or yeah,
could have been. Asshole. Yeah, could be just having a bad day, but they always say, excuse me, sir. Can I help you? And some of them do the look down at the boobs, look up, look down at the boobs. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm like, it's okay, honey. It's fine. I don't care.
Yeah.
Just really don't care. I know who I am. It doesn't bother me, you know? So it's fine, you know? But yeah,
even if it's misrepresented, just that show of respect.
Absolutely. I'll take it.
Yeah.
In today's world,
probably better than you're going to get out of a lot of people. So
yeah, some of these younger kids and their attitudes, if they walk up behind me and call me sir, I'll respond. I could bet you I could strap myself down with like an ace bandage and go to work, and no one would ever know that I'm a female. I'm pretty sure.
I got to say, living in the South, I know.
Not that it would take much. I mean, they're not very big. That wasn't sexual either. Please don't.
I know.
God, don't do it like that.
It's okay. Hey,
I mean, unless it's
right.
Julie.
I'm right
Julie,
there with you.
Take it like that. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Junk shop, maybe you. I don't know. We'll talk later. No. I was waiting to make a joke about that. It just came out of my mouth.
That was
good. You were cracking me up earlier with the fuck you, B. Fuck you. It's great.
I'm so glad that you.
I'm so glad that you took it in the spirit in which it was intended, because it just fell out of my face. I was like, look,
exactly.
It's too late to take that back now. Now I got to see what the reaction is.
I'm probably the least offended person you will ever know. You would have to say something about like a dead family member or somebody I'm really close to, and say something very crude and rude to get me riled up. Otherwise, I'd just be like, shut up, you don't know what you're talking about, or that was a good one. Depending on the situation, but you can't offend me, Junk Shop.
Would I be wrong in saying that? I think most of us, I think all of us on this panel at this moment, we tend to be more protective of other people than, like there's a lot of
a bit. That's the way it is.
Yeah, a lot of people can. I mean, people can say shit to me, and I don't block them and stuff like that. But like, I had my eldest brother said some nasty things to a couple of my friends on Facebook, and I was like, I've got your cell phone number. I can text you when something happens to mom or dad. I don't need to have you on this. And I blocked him. It was like, didn't even think about it. I was like, yeah.
Damn.
No. Well, I mean,
asshole, right?
He doesn't think that coronavirus is real. And he was telling my friends that they needed to get off their quote.
Flat?
Oh, I don't know, but I think maybe. He said, quote, get off your fat asses and go the fuck back to work. And I was like, okay, you're blocked now. And the two guys that he was talking about, they were like, we can look after ourselves. And I was like, yeah, I know you can, but it's my brother, and both of you have had my back forever, for decades. And I'm not having it. I'm not having you spoken to that way. Not on my Facebook page. If you want to go be friends with him on your Facebook page and discuss it, you can. But I'm not, no.
Right.
Yeah, I get really protective.
I avoid Facebook.
Well, because you know those. You do?
Yeah. My wife has a Facebook account, but I want nothing to do with Facebook.
Never have, never will.
I have one that I just check on family. I randomly will go on and put something on there I think is funny or something that's horrible and I think people need to see it. And besides that, I just go in and go through my notifications and click on some family members and, they look good, they look healthy, everybody's happy, sweet.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much.
I've kept up with.
I keep an EpiPen handy just in case I mishandle somebody else's Facebook link.
Nice. I've had
with Facebook.
That helps me. It helps me keep up with friends from early childhood, and that's the main reason I still have it. Is it like?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's another reason too. You're right. I have all kinds of people that have found me on Facebook from like high school and junior high. It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
my wife.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. My wife connected me with a childhood friend of mine. Like our parents were neighbors and friends, and after 50 years, 55 years, somewhere around 50 years, I'd say. And we've finally got together and hang out again. We hadn't hung out since I was in like 7th grade, I think, was when we lost touch with each other.
Oh, nice. Oh,
good shit, man.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I reconnected with my very first, not my very first, my very first best friend, or my very first closest friend was my godbrother, who, because we don't remember meeting each other. We were put together as babies. And then there was another girl whose family was Catholic in my hometown, and it's the same thing. Like, we don't remember meeting each other. We were just always friends. But, like, she lives across the country now. And right. He's in a different state, and like this is how it's just how we, the funny thing about like he and I could always get back in touch because his mom and my mom have been best friends since they were 14, and they still talk every week. So if I needed to know what was going on with him, I could just call my godmother and be like, hey, what's his new number or whatever, right. And she'd give it to me. Yeah, but that my old my old friend who ended up living on a different coast, way far away, we found each other on Facebook, and that was so cool. It was so cool to find each other again, and also find out that we're like largely like we're very politically and socially aligned. Like her like when I found her on Facebook, she was wearing and remember, we were both raised hardcore Catholic. She was from an Irish Catholic family in particular. And she was wearing a t-shirt that said, your body is a battlefield. And I was like, yes! All right.
You're my new friend. I know it.
Yes, you are my old / new friend. It's amazing. And, yeah, so that was really cool. And that's happened several times. I've gotten to reconnect. Yeah. Yeah. So that's good. So that's why I keep it around. I know but I know they have all my information. And I get all the targeted ads and everything, and it is what it is. I mean, it would have bothered me years ago. I'm just
not on there much.
But
I don't think I'm on there enough for them to screw with me, really.
Well, and that is one nice thing. 3
times a month or something.
Yeah, it's easy to ignore Facebook posts because I get so many in a day. I'm just like, man, I'm not really. What's funny though is
I haven't had that notification on in years.
Oh,
I don't even remember the last time I had it on.
My Twitter life, which is where I was like first like all out and atheist and like angry, like when I first like realized I didn't believe in any gods or goddesses like 2 years ago, and I was like, Twitter, none of my family's on Twitter, rah, like did that.
This is how I feel,
right? This is how I feel about this.
Fuck you,
man.
You're cool.
Yeah, exactly. And fuck the Pope.
Fuck your
and
God,
yeah.
Your God.
Oh
God, it was sucks. Your religion, all religion sucks.
It was so liberating,
right.
And but now my Facebook friends and my Twitter friends are starting to mingle. My Twitter friends are starting to like send me friend requests, and I'm like, no, I really love this person. I'm not going to say no on Facebook. and now I'm like, okay. And then I remembered that my 77-year-old parents, one of whom has dementia, are not on Facebook anymore. So I really don't have to worry about it because I'm out to everybody else in my family. So I just, I don't see the point in making the last years of their life miserable.
Everywhere I work, I always, within the first week of working there, I always make a joke about being a lesbian. So we're just clear.
There's
no bullshit. Nobody's guessing.
Yeah.
There's no rumors. Some guy will say, hey, customer or something, whatever. Some guy I work with, hey, how you doing? I'm like, how are you doing? I've never seen you here before. Really? Do you have a sister? What? Do you have a sister? Yeah. Is she gay? No. Oh, damn. Okay. Well, nice talking to you. Walk away.
That's a great one.
What the fuck just happened?
Good.
That's brilliant.
Hey, sweetheart, how are you? I'm good. You're a good-looking guy. Well, thank you. Yeah, does your sister look good too? Because that's just honest. Just put it out there. There's no issues. There's no concern. There's no.
Oh yeah.
No worse than animosity.
Yeah, and if everyone knows where you're coming from, then they can't mess with you about it, which I like.
Yeah, and there's no gossiping. There's no right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one thing I don't like about being pansexual is this doesn't happen much anymore because I'm very clear about where I'm at relationship wise, but it has happened in the past. Is people find out that you like all the chocolates in the box, and suddenly they want you to be like their unicorn with their boyfriend or their girlfriend or whatever. And it's like, guys, it doesn't mean I'm into group sex necessarily. Can you back the fuck off a little bit?
I've had people ask me that, and I am blatantly gay, so don't feel bad.
Nice. No, I don't.
Something about you
I
want
don't
to fool
feel bad.
around?
It's just frustrating. It's like,
no.
Get the penis out of the thing.
Point is no man. Hence lesbian.
Hence lesbian, yeah.
I mean, I'm like, is he a small, fragile, quiet, submissive bitch? No, then okay, I'm not interested. That's my requirement for men. That's my requirement for men. You have to be that.
Sorry.
And really, by the time you get to that point, by the time you get to that point, you're just dating other men. So I just go after women. I'm just done. That's it.
Sorry, B broke me. I'll be okay in a minute.
I mean, it's true. I'm just being honest.
Have you ever had those awkward moments where you've had to out yourself as an atheist?
I've never had to out myself as an atheist. It just comes natural to me. It's so normalized in my head that if somebody wants to give me shit for being an atheist, fuck you. Like I'm just me. I just happen to not believe in your God. If you believe in one, I don't believe in it. And let's talk about something else because there's no sense in arguing about it. Fuck it. This is me. And like the best thing I always do is when somebody sneezes, I say, "Curse you." They look at me funny, and I'm like, "Don't worry, I'm an atheist. My blessings don't work either."
Oh, that's cute. That's good. I still say "bless you." I can't help it. It's pounded into my head like "please" and "thank you." I can't.
I say
not say "bless you."
Gesundheit.
Gesundheit. Yeah. Which means God bless you in German, but.
I used Angie's line the other day, guys, and I'm going to tell you because I'm going to admit it, and she can copyright strike me. So a lady was asking me questions, and I helped her find some stuff, blah blah blah, and she was like, "Thank you so much." And she goes, "You have a good day, honey. God bless you." And I said, "May the force be with you," and I walked away. And she just went, "What the fuck?" And I'd never seen her in the store before. Nice. But I used Angie's line. So whoever talks to her, let her know it worked great. The woman was stunned. I walked away laughing. It was perfect.
Awesome.
Nice.
May the force be with you.
So, Mr. Shadow Kitty, have you ever been in a moment where you felt the need to come out as an atheist, just in a public situation, or?
The gloves came off. I think it was 2010. There was this guy. He had Family Bible Hour on television. Harold Camping.
I know that name. Why do I know that name?
Yeah, he was the guy who had this whole "the world is going to end on May 25th," and
yes,
people were, and it was like on the sides of buses and billboards, and people were killing their pets, and that's why I said, no, I'm not going to stay quiet about this anymore. Before that, I would just tell people, like, what are your spiritual proclivities? It's like, I guess I could consider myself a Buddhist because I studied a lot of that. It made sense to me. But with the Harold Camping thing, it just came out. It was like, this is one sick motherfucker. I don't like him. He's causing a lot of damage. And
was he the same person that people were like selling their homes and selling their worldly possessions to like follow him and proclaim that the world would end? It's okay. Yeah, that's
more
what I was thinking
than once. Might I add?
Yeah.
I think it was like 3 different times.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was May 25th, 2010 or something that the world was going to come to an end.
Something like that.
My wife corrects me. It's 2011.
2011.
Oh.
Thanks, Eddie.
Thank you, Mr. Shadow Kitty. Yeah, wow. That's crazy.
I seem to remember hearing something about that, and I think I just ignored it and said quack and moved on with my life. And it was gone from my memory after that. So
I didn't hear about it at the time. I saw some stuff later when I was more tuned into like atheist content and stuff. But like, yeah, when I saw it, I was like, wow, because it is funny. It's like every generation seems to think that they're the ones that are going to be there when the world ends, and it's like, why? Other than no, why do we do this to ourselves? It's so weird.
See that?
It's real easy.
Weird.
Anybody that makes an apocalypse prediction, just make sure you know about it, and you make sure that you're not in the blast radius when that time comes. Because that's highly suspicious.
Good idea.
Yeah.
Those logical sense I can make of it.
Cults and apocalypse rumors were one of the very few things that weren't terrifying to me as a child, because my dad always took them as a teachable moment. Because every time there was one in the news, he would drag out that verse from one of the Gospels where Jesus says, "No man knows the day nor the hour when the end of the world will come. The only one who knows is the Father. Even the Son does not know when the end will come." He would say, look, if Jesus himself, the Son of the living God, did not know when the end of time was going to come, what makes you think J. Bob smackadoodle from the Third Wackadoo Baptist Church of Bumfart, Arkansas, is going to have pieced it out. And it was a great don't worry about it technique, because we were all still very much, awaiting on the king to return. And whenever these crazy doomsday predictions would come up, it was a great blanket calming thing, because we knew it wasn't true.
Well done on your dad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And if you're going to drag something out of that stupid fucking book, that's the thing to do.
Is somebody else starting at 8? Well, 8 my time. IQ?
I don't know. Because it's 10:15 where I'm at.
Oh, rock on. Well, thanks for coming, honey. I appreciate you coming in, and I enjoyed talking with you.
Always a pleasure.
So, yeah, I'll just, anytime I'm doing a random, I'll just keep sending you links anytime I think of it. You can jump in whenever you want. You're always welcome.
Indeed. Always love it. All right, Shadow Kitty, John Chop, Julie, love you guys.
Love you, IQ.
Nice meeting you, IQ.
Yep.
You're going back to Doomsday. I'm 62. I'm a Cold War baby. So we had all that Cold War stuff. We did the duck and cover drills when I was a little kid.
Oh, my gosh.
But we didn't actually duck and cover. There's just two things that, when you go to school, you're in first, second grade. It's like, do what your teachers tell you. And that's all it was. It was never fully explained to us. But we had 2 drills. We had the fire drill, which was the bell going off. We lined up, and we all left the classroom single file, and went out onto the playground until the bell told us to go back inside and return to our class. And then there was the other drill, where we didn't go outside. We all lined up in the hallway, and we sat on the floor with our backs to the wall until we were told to go back to our class. So that was my upbringing for my first few years of grade school. Wow. Sitting with my back to the wall.
Wow.
And see, where I live, we did duck and cover drills, but it was because of earthquakes. Because we lived on a fault line.
Oh.
So, yeah. Although there weren't...
Where'd you live at?
There weren't any big... just this part of Kentucky that happened to... I'm sorry, I'm trying not to be too specific because it is really specific. It's a really weird name.
Right. No, that's fine.
But it's a... I mean, I don't know why I care. I've said it before.
I just want to know what state, because there's fault lines all over the freaking
place. Kentucky. And it just happened to be where in Kentucky that we lived happened to line up with a pretty major fault line. So we had, and tornadoes. We had tornadoes every year. So the duck and cover for tornadoes and for earthquakes was similar, except if the school had a basement, if the school you were in at the time had a basement, for the tornado drills, we'd go to the basement.
Right.
But yeah, the Cold War kid thing is interesting. Yeah.
No, we only did fire drills growing up. We didn't do any other. That was it. We did the fire drill when it was mandatory that the school do it, and that's the only thing I remember. I don't remember any other kind of. There was no other kind of drills. Mm-hmm. But I was out in the middle of the country, in the middle of nowhere. So, I mean, my high school graduating class was 83.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Sorry. We could be siblings. Like you'd be right between my oldest brother and the twins. So that makes me happy. Anyway, I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know why. But
hey, whatever makes you happy. Like literally,
right.
That's what makes you happy.
Thank you.
That.
Right. I'm getting a small blitzkrieg of notifications that I'm about out of battery, so I'm going to bail while I still can before everything powers down.
I didn't even realize till IQ left. We've been on here over 2 hours, so we'll just
go.
It was awesome.
Yeah, my phone is hot.
It was a really good conversation. I know the good combo now. You 3 and IQ, good combo.
All right. Well,
thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for coming on. I'm sorry about the time zone issue. Nels, thank you so much. You know I love you to death. And we will see everybody later, I guess, at some point. Peace out, everybody.
Linda's show tomorrow.
Bye, guys.
Yes, Linda's show. Yes. Tomorrow night, TMI. Bye, everybody.